The 2020 NFL playoffs are finally upon us, starting this Saturday and Sunday with the NFL wildcard weekend. In this video, we're going to be giving you guys a game preview for the Washington football team versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup happening on Saturday at 5:15 p.m. We'll go over backgrounds for each team, how they match up against each other, and in the end, get to my prediction and pick for the game. Hello, everybody. My name is Jack Smith from the Cold Hard Truth podcast, where we bring you the cold hard truth on everything football. If this interests you, please go down and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. We're trying to hit 400 subscribers before the Super Bowl, and we need your guys' help to do it. Also, while you're down there, please leave a like on the video and leave a comment letting me know what you think of this game. Who do you think is going to win? Is Washington going to win it, or is Tampa Bay going to win it? I want to know down in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into my background for the Washington football team, the 4 seed in the NFC and the NFC East champion this season. The Washington football team had a very interesting path to the playoffs, and there's probably no team I will be rooting for more than the football team in the playoffs this year. Obviously, they're the champions of the NFC East, or NFC Least, whatever you want to call it, the division that routinely has under 500 teams make the playoffs, and that's no different this year. Washington went 7-9 this year with a multitude of different starting quarterbacks, including Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, back to Dwayne Haskins, and then back to Alex Smith once again. And they come into the playoffs actually with their coach debating whether there should be a QB rotation in the playoffs because of how inconsistent their quarterback play is and how much they need to find their quarterback moving forward. Some other big factors about this team are Terry McLaurin on the offensive side of the ball, one of the top receivers in the league, and a very stellar defense, including a defensive line, which is filled with a ton of first-round picks, including Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, Matt Ioannidis, Ryan Kerrigan, and so many more players on that defense. But Washington really is a defensive-first football team that lacks an offensive identity and really lacks a true starting quarterback that can lead them through the playoffs. And if you have to debate whether you should do a quarterback carousel in your playoff game, I don't think you're in a very good spot. That doesn't mean, though, that this Washington team can't get anything done because they've proven they have a lot of heart. Obviously, they've had to get through a lot over this season and the past season. They went through a name change a couple of years ago. Alex Smith went down with a gruesome injury. Obviously, Ron Rivera has had to deal with cancer. They've had to fight to win the division. Early in the year, it did not look like they were going to win, and somehow they fought their way to win, won a crucial game in Week 17 to get there. So this team has heart. They have talent, but I think they lack talent at the most important position on the field, which is quarterback. So there's big questions coming into this game for Washington. I was a huge believer in Washington coming into this season. I was a believer more in the rebuild, not exactly what they would do this season, but I didn't foresee them making the playoffs. I thought next year was their year. So in my opinion, they could be a year too early to the playoffs, but you'll see actually what I think in the final prediction for this video at the end. But for now, let's get to my opinion on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the background of their season. The Buccaneers were probably the most talked about team this offseason as they brought in Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, reuniting the New England duo in Tampa Bay for maybe one last ride in Tom Brady's career, really the headline signing of the offseason. And unlike many other hyped teams that fell flat like the Arizona Cardinals or the Denver Broncos, the Buccaneers made the playoffs, and they actually did it behind a pretty good season. Obviously, the offense did what it was supposed to do with Tom Brady leading the charge, Ronald Jones playing well, and their great wide receiver duo, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, playing well. But the key to their season, actually, I believe, was their defense. We did a video early in the year about how great their defense was. And really, over the entire season, it might have been the most underrated defense in the league. Todd Bowles coached this team up, came from the Jets head coach, got fired, became the defensive coordinator, and he's made guys like Carlton Davis and Antoine Winfield and Devin White and Levante David and all of those great players they have on that defense perform to perfection almost. And they shut down teams like the Green Bay Packers when they looked unstoppable. So this defensive unit is maybe one of the most refined and full and hole-free defenses in the league. And obviously, there's a lot of offensive talent. The problem was bringing it all together this season. They struggled in some big primetime games, notably losses to the Rams and close games with the Giants. But when they're able to put it together, they look like one of the best teams and most consistent teams in the league. And recently, they've had a lot of momentum. After a Week 13 close loss to the Chiefs, the Buccaneers rattled off 4 wins to end the season, including some big wins against the Lions after Christmas and a Week 17 win against the Falcons, where they put up 40 plus points, and the offense seemed to hit its stride. Unfortunately, week 17, though, Mike Evans did get injured. That's something you have to take into account when thinking about this matchup. But this offense has been performing well nonetheless, and I think that they carry some of the most momentum of any team coming into the playoffs in the NFC, which could make them dangerous and could make them a bad matchup for the Washington football team. Also, Tom Brady is the best postseason football player of all time, leading the Patriots to so many Super Bowls. So that's something that the Buccaneers have behind them, and that's something that'll really influence my final decision for this matchup. Before we get to my prediction for who will win this game, we're doing game previews for every single game of the 2020 NFL playoffs. We'll put a playlist up in the right-hand corner so you can view all of those games. There's going to be 6 previews for the wild card round, and we'll do one for every single game for the rest of the playoffs. So make sure to go watch those videos after this video to be educated on every game of the playoffs. Also, quick reminder, we're trying to hit 400 subscribers before the Super Bowl, so we would really appreciate your help going down and hitting the subscribe button and the like button and leaving a comment based on who you think will win this matchup. But my final opinion for this video and my prediction for this matchup is I do believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will pull it off against the Washington football team. I know it's technically not considered an upset, but the Bucs are a lower seed. But in the end, the Washington football team is a 7-9 football team that probably shouldn't have made the playoffs in general, but they made it because they won their division. The Buccaneers are just simply a more talented team with more playoff experience because of Tom Brady, because of Rob Gronkowski, guys like that who know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. Plus, I just don't think Washington has enough at the quarterback position to lead a full offensive charge against this great Buccaneers defense. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the playlist in the description for all the game previews for the playoffs and for the wild card week. Make sure you leave a comment letting me know who you think's going to win, and subscribe and leave a like on the video. Also, you can go down to our Instagram and Twitter. On our Instagram, you can vote for every game in the NFL playoffs. And on our Twitter, we're going to be live tweeting as many playoff games as we can. So you can go there to get notified and learn about what's going on in the NFL playoffs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.